time, and I do apologize. I had another commitment that I had, so that's why I'm a little late. I do want to thank the PTA for calling this. I want to thank you for coming out, and I'd like to thank my fellow panelists, all of you who I've seen quite a bit lately. I wanted to maybe talk a little about, I think, some of the challenges that face MPS today, and whatever the governance is, whoever comes in, whoever the new superintendent is, they're very, very challenging issues that are coming up. The first thing is what the mayor and others have talked about is what's happened in the job market. And I just listened to a report yesterday on our, what's happening in a lot of our inner cities, and it's really frightening. The home ownership is down. There are now more sheriff's sales in some of those areas than real home sales. In the near south side, the zip code that I used to represent, not far from here, more than half the traffic accidents are hit and run accidents. People don't have licenses. They may be illegal. They're so afraid of staying. People getting out of prison, only something like 5% of them actually have licenses. So how do they get jobs in a city with no real public transportation? These are all great challenges. The trouble I find in MPS in talking about them is pretty soon people throw up their hands and say, it's too much, what do you expect from us? And that's not why I think we should emphasize them. We need a school system that really engages with them, looks at the challenges and says what's going to be happening. So that's one of the big challenges, is making sure that the kids coming out have the skills that they need in this job market. As I talk a lot. I have my regular job at MSOE, and so I talk a lot to industry. The constant complaint there is that we can't hire the people of skills we need. At the same time, we have lots of people who can't get jobs because they don't have the skills they need. So how does MPS bring that together? The other big challenge is the financial one. And this year we got through fairly easily at MPS. If you read the paper, we only had a 2.8% tax increase. I thought maybe we had another year before the crisis really hits, because that's when the stimulus funds are going to go away. But at the rate that our burden of benefits is going up, we may suddenly next year find a real problem of keeping small schools open. They won't be able to afford that even before they happen. So whoever comes in is going to be facing those big challenges. I think you all know that we're in the process now of looking for a new superintendent. When I looked at what our consultant came up with after the board, the list of qualities in the new superintendent, and I looked at the mayor's list, they looked very similar. And the question is, thank you, what happens in practice? And so that's, and so at some point I'd very much like to hear from the mayor. He's used the analogy of the police chief, and there's lots of happiness with this new police chief so far. But basically, it wasn't the law that changed; it was the process that changed. There was and so how can we improve the process of finding the new superintendent? So we're really going outside the box to do it. So again, sort of with that introduction, I'd say thank you again, and I'd be very interested in your questions and comments.